Aundréa, where the hell have you been? I've been right here at home in the US, in the state of Georgia, honestly depressed as hell. And I want to talk about it. That's what this video is going to be about. So if you've been here already, thank you so much for returning. It's so good to have you guys back. It's so good to be back on my channel. And if it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I have new videos up. And yeah, let's just get into it. So rather than make this entire video about depression and all the sadness that I've endured, I actually just want to go through month by month the different countries I've been to, the feelings that I had in each one, and kind of give myself a chance to understand my headspace a bit more and give you guys an opportunity to chronicle your own year and see what it is that you've learned, what it is that you've overcome, what it is that you've had to teach yourself in order to get to where you are right now. Because every year, instead of doing New Year's resolutions, I actually focus on making New Year's aspirations. It's more important for me to make a list of goals than a list of far-fetched fantasies. Resolutions for me are just words on paper. Aspirations for me are legit tasks. But first, I want to shout out Kai Foster for this merch. I think it's absolutely on point. I don't have the social capacity. That's been the theme for 2019. 2019 has been feeling like that cousin that you didn't know you had, and then they come over and they just feel entitled to everything that you own. Every single time I felt myself actually progressing this year, there was always this nagging sound in the back of my head like, but what about this? You got this? You got that? And it's just like, bitch, who asked you? I'm actually going to start from 2018, just at the end of it, where I was really certain that the 9-to-5 life was just not for me right now. I had an amazing job in Kuala Lumpur, and by amazing, I kind of mean doing what I wanted to do, but it was also stressful because no matter how fun your job is, no matter how lit your job is, and no matter where your job is located, it could be halfway across the world like mine, it can still be stressful to be in that rat race, to be in that environment where everyone just feels like they're in competition with everyone else, and you don't get that feel that you're competing with yourself. Instead, you just feel like you're constantly going up this ladder that ultimately leads to nowhere. I just knew that I was over it, and I knew that I needed to get away from it, so I was resigning from my job with no plan. I'm not here to tell you to quit your job. I'm not here to tell you to quit your job and to figure it out, because honestly, even when I have no plan, I have like 10 or 12 backup plans. It's just how my head works. But I really wanted to just give myself an opportunity to just figure things out instead of having a plan. So my backup plans are really just to find ways to make money with my craft versus jumping into another office space. But I didn't have that legitimized at all. I had no idea if that was even going to work out, but I took a vacation and decided I'll just deal with it afterwards. I had an amazing time spending Christmas and New Year's in India. I got to be a part of a beautiful wedding, and by the time the wedding was over and the fun was done and I got back to Kuala Lumpur where my full-time job was, I thought to myself, now what? What are you going to do? Are you going to go back to the States? Do you want to stay here in Southeast Asia? Like, what's the plan? Luckily, I was given an opportunity to freelance for my full-time job, which was amazing because, like I said, I love what I do. I just really wanted to get out of that environment, and I really wanted to give myself some time to travel and enjoy my life again. I wanted that multi-income feel. Like, I just wanted to know that I had money coming from multiple areas, and I just kind of wanted to give myself a full deep dive into what freelancing was like. So I grabbed another contract. I took a job doing content management full-time, and for me, that's writing, that's graphic design, that's video production, that's web design, that's email marketing, that's digital marketing, that's everything. I love the fact that with my craft, I have so many different buckets that I can dive into, so I'm never bored. The only downfall to that was I was starting my new year with not only one, but 2 full-time contracts. So I was still working 40 plus hours a week, and I was pretty much maintaining the same workaholic attitude. That was kind of sucky. But let's stay in my happy place. January, I get these 2 contracts. I moved from Kuala Lumpur to Thailand, and in Chiang Mai, Thailand, it's just this hub of expats, particularly Black expats. So I just felt like I was going to a space where I could be myself, where I can relax, where I can just have more fun than I was having being in an office space all day. February came along and I was already having second thoughts. I had entered a romantic relationship by then. I was working full-time, like I said, for 2 jobs, and my days were just turning into work. So even though I was sitting in front of a beautiful garden, I was still very miserable knowing that I was waking up to work and going to bed with work. The money was great, but my headspace was non-existent. It was cluttered, it was crowded, and I was just wondering, okay, why did I just take all my baggage with me to an area where I was supposed to feel a lot more free? This is when my depression began to sprout, because by then I was getting the gist of balancing work and play. I would take some days off here and there, go ride around on the motorcycle, take some time to hang out with friends, but then I also would want to go back to work and I'd want to get back into my bag, because I feel like as a freelancer, no matter how big your bag is, you still think that there's just more out there to get. At least that's what I thought. And for me, it created this unnecessary drive to always keep working and to always keep making money. I almost felt guilty enjoying myself. It was way different than when I had a 9-to-5. When I had a 9-to-5 and it was time for me to go on vacation, I felt super relaxed. Even though I was still kind of checking my emails and doing work, I knew at the end of the day, I was still going to get paid. So I could just take a minute to take a breath. Versus freelancing, where every single hour counts, and every hour that you aren't spending working, it kind of feels like, well, damn, do I have the money for all this? I just knew that I was just doing way too much, and it was overwhelming me, like completely overwhelming me, affecting my relationships with others. I couldn't really focus on building anything romantic, anything platonic. I honestly just wanted to be in front of my laptop all day, every day, and make sure that I was stable. And that's the word that I realized was my trigger to my depression. I really struggled with exemplifying all the hard work I was doing because I was spending so much of my time working. So I wasn't traveling, which is what I love to do. I was spending so much time in front of my damn laptop, and it was stressing me out. So much in Chiang Mai was happening. And when I say so much, I mean Spike Lee was there filming his next Netflix film, and he casted so many Black expats in Chiang Mai, including me, and I was still depressed. Luckily for me, I have a therapist who's incredible. She's Black, she lives in the States, but she works with clients abroad as well, and we get to just have our video calls, have our full-on sessions, and she brings me back down to earth when I'm kind of just going out into space. I got to just take a break and think, what is it you want, Aundréa? What is it you need to focus on? What is it that's really important to you? What is it that you just want to change in your life? Do you want this to be your life? Do you want to be so focused on work that you forget about friends, that you forget about love, that you forget about yourself? No. Spiritually, I've been awakening into a space of who is most important to you. And I am most important to me, because without me, these relationships with everyone else don't exist. I have to take care of me. I have to be a lover to me. I have to be a friend to me. I have to be the biggest supporter of myself if I ever expect myself to be present enough to be there for other people. I went home in May to be there for the birth of my best friend's first child, and I got a chance to just be back with family and reconnect. Before then, I hadn't been home for a year, so I felt really disconnected from everything back home. And I think that my trip home in May was when I really decided, okay, it's time to let go of a few things. I was limiting my time with work and maximizing my time with self, and it felt incredible. I was no longer working full-time and went down to part-time and told myself after 25 hours, it's time to give it up. Yes, you're gonna have to spend less. Yes, you're gonna be making a bit less, but it's going to be so much more worth it if you have time for the people who matter to you. It was lit. I got to go back to Atlanta where the majority of my family is. I went to my first all-black, all-women's business conference, which was amazing because I got an opportunity to just connect with people who look like me, who felt like me, who were just so eager to get their own things off the ground. Being surrounded by entrepreneurs is a whole nother energy than being surrounded by people who are still focused on that rat race mentality. And I realized that being home is just one of my triggers because all of my independence, everything that I've built, everything that I've worked hard for isn't with me. And then when I come home, I'm back in this kind of codependent space that I don't like being in. And even just hanging out with people, it's like we're getting older and people's lives are totally different. And it added weight to my depression. But since I was working and since I was still going about my life, I just slipped into a real functional depression. My lease in Thailand was up. I had no ties, no kids, no relationship, nothing really holding me down. And I said to myself, you know what? Let's go backpacking. Let's take some time to go travel. Let's take some time to get re-inspired. Let's just take some time with self again. Because when I was home, I was becoming so codependent and feeling like, okay, I need to connect myself to so many people and so many things, when really I needed to connect myself to myself and foster that relationship. So yeah, if you want to see where I went and how I got everything in my backpack, definitely check out the video right above, or I'll post it in my description box below, and let me know what you think. That was my time with myself, to travel, to do what I wanted, to not give a about who felt what way about what I was doing. I got off social media so that I could really hear myself think again. I didn't give anyone an opportunity to get into my head when I knew that the only voice I needed to hear was from God. And it was so powerful of a month for me. I got to spend so much time with myself, and I got to learn so much about what my capabilities really are. This was freelancing. This was what I signed up for, and it felt amazing. I was very much excited to go back home because I felt like I'm renewed. This is my time to show everyone my growth. This is my time for me to really flourish. Like, I was so excited until I got home. Once I got home, the culture shocked me crazy. I tried to do too much all the time, financially, emotionally, just putting myself out there in ways where I wouldn't have normally done that had I been in the same space I was in July, on my own, doing my own thing. I just told myself, you know what? We off this. We're not going to get caught up in this materialistic bullshit. You work too hard for that. You have a bigger purpose out there, and I'm going to need you to hone in on that. I just got offline. I got away from all the noise. I told everyone that I loved that I needed some space, and I just focused on me. I uncovered everything between October and December, and I mean everything. I did some light traveling domestically, and it still didn't feed my soul in the way that I was used to, and I really had to do some groundwork. What I've been doing, what I've been learning, the things that I've had to teach myself, you can work on your own, you can travel on your own, you can do this without the need of other people's validation or other people's support or other people, period. Like, you can really just do this shit yourself. Ask for help when you need it, but really count on yourself. I needed that lesson to be handed to me. I needed that lesson to be force-fed to me, actually. This time, I know that my whole freelancing career is going to be completely revamped. I'm going to know how to balance my time. I've already upped the price, so I know how to balance my money. And I'm really looking forward to spending more time with self because it is helping me clear out a lot of the shit that I had no idea was sitting there. So yeah, where am I now? So excited to head back overseas. I have my head clear. I feel so much more focused. And I just know that this time around, with freelancing in particular, I'm going to be in another space where I don't overwork myself, where I balance out my work life, my social life a lot better, and where I just understand the importance of what I put in front of me rather than everything else that's happening around me. It's been a hell of a journey so far. 6 countries in a year has really taught me so much more than I ever expected it to. Last year, when I was just traveling country to country, I felt like I was just free floating. This time, I feel myself strategically moving about. Your girl's still depressed. but she's working through it. She's getting through it in a very healthy, productive, consistent way. Being consistent with myself has been so much more important than being consistent with anything else. But thank you guys for supporting me along the way regardless. Please hit the notification bell so you do know when I have content up. And if you're not already subscribed, do it. Just do it. Just join. I'll see y'all when I see y'all.